Ben here, back with another video, and this one's going to be a little bit different than all the code spelunking I've been doing in Ocarina of Time's decompiled codebase. Instead, we're going to be code spelunking the very first program or project that I gave myself. I wrote this code in 2011, maybe early 2012. This is one of the first projects I gave myself after my Introduction to Computer Science class in C++. I told myself I was going to make a game. I was very inspired by Fez at the time. I beat that game, loved it, and decided, you know what? I'm going to make a little game. I'm going to make a very basic battle simulator, almost like Pokemon, but I'm just going to do it purely in text. What I didn't realize is that it was actually way more complicated than I thought it would be. That was honestly one of the first projects that I gave myself where it was purely just something that I felt like I wanted to do, and I just had to figure out how to do it. So I'm very excited to code review this. This is Code Spelunking, technically on a very old code base, a very tiny code base now, but at the time, writing 150 lines of code was like crazy to me. And it's funny to think about that because right now, I was looking at Ocarina of Time's decompiled code base, and I'm regularly going through files that are 16,000 lines of code in here. Okay, let's first take a look at how this game even runs, what this game even is. So I have a battlesim.exe here, and take a look. Super Battle Simulator. An ogre appears. What do you do? I'm going to go with the sword and shield. So I chose the sword and shield, and now we're in battle mode. What do you want to do? 1 is attack, 2 is defend or charge your power attack, 3 is to eat, which is health regen, and 4 is a power attack. 0 of 4 charges. Okay, so I'm going to go for that power attack, so I'm going to defend. And what happens? Your shield blocks for 7 damage, the ogre attacks for 4 damage. My health was probably 100 and went down to 96, the ogre's at 200. Okay, I'm going to keep defending. Ogre hits me for 10 and my shield blocks 9. Okay. Defend again. I am just getting chunked down here. This power attack better be worth it. Okay, let's power attack. Okay, the super attack hit for 38. All right, that's not terrible. And if he's going to hit me every turn... Oh, let me actually start healing. Okay, can I just keep healing indefinitely? 49 health, 50, 56, there's 63, 65. Okay, keep healing. Okay, I'm just going to heal as much as I possibly can. This game was not very balanced. Okay, now I have almost double the ogre's health. Now let's defend a few times. And I'm going to power attack. And let's defend some more. And power attack. Kill him? Nope. Okay, eat. Don't die, don't die, don't die. Okay. Oh god, okay, don't die. There it is. Alright. Wow, attacks barely do any damage. Alright. Ogre's health is -6. You win. Want to try again? Sure. Let's try the two-handed axe. Alright, so let's defend. No. First, let's eat. Shield blocks. Oh, wait, I have a shield even though I'm on a two-handed sword? Hold up, I did a power attack, and it didn't say that I did a power attack. What's going on here? What about the super attack? My super attacks don't even work when I have a two-handed weapon. That's busted. Yeah, super attacks just don't work on two-handed. Okay, that's a bug. We are now in the code. Let's do this. Let me zoom in a little bit extra. Okay, we have some includes. This seems pretty standard, using the standard namespace. Function prototypes. So we have our axe function. We have an attack function. Takes in a lot of stuff here. Ogre health, player health. Which weapon are we using? Weapon is a float, apparently. Everything is a float here. Okay. I guess I didn't want to use integers for anything. So our weapon is a float. The choice is even a float. And the power attack is a float passed as a pointer. Same thing as the ogre health. Ogre attack takes in the player's health, the weapon that's being used. Can the ogre have multiple weapons? This might be the player's weapon. And then the choice. And we have a battle, which takes in a weapon. Okay, so int main, we have our weapon and a check. Check is probably what the user types in. So we start a do while loop. And we start printing Super Battle Simulator, and Ogre appears. What weapon do you choose? We then grab the weapon, which is a float, and we're comparing it to integers. The weapon should have just been an integer. If we chose weapon, then we say we chose the sword and the shield. If we chose the other one, we chose the axe. Okay, then we just go into this battle function, and nothing else happens except, do you want to try again? And we keep trying again as long as what the user typed in for the response to this is Y. And then after this, apparently we pause the game and we return 0. Okay. All right, that's a pretty simple main function. Then we go into this battle function, passing in the weapon that the player chose. Okay, so we're starting a battle, and we know what the player chose. All right. Player health is 100, ogre health is 100, choice, regen, and power attack equals 0. This is interesting. This is an interesting way that I decided to define this. Battle is true. Okay, so as long as the battle is true, we are going to keep battling. We've entered battle mode. Can I do a format here? Okay, much better. All right, so we tell them, what do you want to do? And we give them a list of stuff. It's just a raw string that I'm passing there. And I'm plugging in the power attack here, which seems like it's the charges that I have. So already my variable naming here could be significantly improved. Like weapon could be player weapon. Power attack could be, power attack charges. Player health makes sense. Ogre health makes sense. Choice is a little. It's the choice that the user enters, so that's not as bad. But regen, I don't know exactly what that means. Okay, it's probably the health regen. But these names are like too vague almost. While battle is true, which could be simplified. So while battle is true, we pick a choice, which is either attack, defend, eat, or power attack. We check. If the choice is 1, then we attack. Otherwise, if the choice is 2, we charge our power attack, and then the ogre attacks. Interesting that the ogre doesn't attack here, but I can assume that in this attack function, the ogre then attacks. For choice number 3, meaning we're eating, we get a random number, mod it by 30. So we bound the limit is essentially 30 there for how much you can heal. We add it, and then the ogre attacks, and then we display how much health they gained. If the choice is 4, we attack in the same way that we attack up here. Is there any difference between these two? No, there is no difference there. This could have been if choice is 1 or 4. Okay, I'm very interested to see what this attack logic is doing. It almost seems like there's too much in there. So once the player has chosen and we've done the attacks, then what happens? We display the stats, we check if we've died, and we check if we've won. And we're just displaying a new line there. All right, this is a first program that I wrote. Okay, let's go to attack. All right, so we're passing in the ogre health, the player health, weapon, choice, and power attack. I want to see what we're doing with power attack here. Aha, okay, so if the weapon is 1, then we're checking. If the choice was 4, then we do this power attack. I'm not a fan of how this was written right here. Checking if the choice was 4 inside of the function where I'm already attacking seems like we're making attack do a little too much here. If we're using the sword and shield and we picked power attack, then this is the damage that gets output. Otherwise, this is the damage. Okay, now if the weapon is 2, meaning that we're two-handed, then if the choice is 4, okay, this should have dealt more damage. Not sure why that wasn't working. Yeah, num. Num is a terrible name for this variable. Oh my god. This num is actually the damage that we're going to do. I should have called this damage. Yeah, there's a lesson for you out there. Name your variables well. Okay, so there is a bug here, right? When I was using the two-handed weapon, it never actually told me that I was using a power attack. But I'll dig into that later. So we figure out the damage and we subtract it from the ogre health. If the choice was 4 and power attack was greater than or equal to 4, I think we just found the bug. Yeah, we just found the bug. Okay, so when power attack is greater than or equal to 4, then we display, hey, you did your super attack. It's awesome. Um, the problem is in this check right here, this is checking if we're using the two-handed weapon. Inside of here, we're resetting power attack to 0, which means we're not actually going into this if statement, which means we're not actually displaying the super attack. But the reality is we did assign a very high number to the damage. We just didn't tell the user, hey, you're doing a super attack. So figured out that bug at least. So if the choice is 4 and power attack, oh, this is just a, okay. This was a way to save on a C out over here. We're only displaying the super attack stuff if the choice is 4 and the power attack is 4. All right. And then the ogre attacks. Okay. So the ogre attacks at the end of an attack. Now let's go back here and let's look at where we are calling attack. In battle, we call attack. Attack automatically calls ogre attack. I can't say I'm a huge fan of that. It makes sense that, hey, when you attack, the ogre attacks, but I think what I would have preferred to see in, obviously hindsight 2020, is an ogre attack happening after my attack happens, but not having it built into the attack. You can imagine that if I added another weapon to this, like a two-handed weapon, maybe I can attack twice. In which case, if I call the attack function twice, then at the end of this, the ogre is going to hit me twice. So there's a little bit of an improvement that could have been made here. And I think that's okay. So let's now dig into ogre attack. So an ogre attack, it takes in what the player's health is, their weapon of choice, and the choice that the user pressed. Okay, so if the choice is 1 or 3 or 4, then the ogre just deals damage. And it deals less damage if we have a sword and shield equipped. It actually deals more damage if we have a two-handed weapon equipped, which checks out. Now, if their choice was 2, we have to do some damage reduction here, which is calculated randomly. Oh man, these variable names. Num, again, is damage. Num is a number randomly from 0 to 20. Ogre damage is num. But we subtract the damage reduction from it, and then we clamp it to 0. But we've already set ogre damage. So my damage reduction didn't actually help. Right? Am I seeing this correctly? So if the choice is 2, meaning I'm choosing to defend, we can only defend, first of all, if we have the sword and shield, which kind of sucks. And there's no displaying whatsoever of, hey, you have a two-handed weapon, you can't defend. So not great, game design, UX design here. So we calculate damage reduction. We calculate the damage. We say that the ogre's damage is this number, but we didn't subtract that at the time that we did it. So it should have been this, and then the ogre damage would have been figured out. Or we just move this line down here after we've calculated all of this stuff. And see, even AI was trying to tell me, even AI was trying to say, oh, wait, hold up. If you have this other weapon, then we should also do some damage reduction. So AI could even tell that I was missing something here. If we pressed 2 while I had my two-handed weapon, it still says your shield blocks for 0 damage. So that's not great there. The ogre does attack for a certain amount. The amount actually doesn't matter if you block because we don't actually subtract the damage reduction. And then we subtract it from the player health. Okay. And I think that actually covers the entirety of this program. This is cool. This is cool. I've had this idea for a long time of, what if I just reviewed a lot of my old code And this was just a fun little tour. So, let me know what you think about it. If this was interesting to you, do you remember the first program you ever wrote? And if you do you have it lying around? It'd be so fun to just dig through your old code, remember where you've been and where you are today. All right, thanks for tagging along in this little bit of nostalgia as a software engineer working at Microsoft reviewed one of the very first programs that they ever wrote. Thanks for sticking around. Catch you on the next one. See you.